Okay, this is going to be a video doing an oil change on a 66 GT350H Hertz car, genuine car from 1966. It's a day 2 car, so meaning that there are day 2 modifications. It's not all factory original. This has been a day 2 car for a long time, since the early 70s at least. So I will be doing a one-take oil change, provided that my camera has enough memory and it lasts. So I have the oil pan in place. It's a low-profile oil pan. There we go. And it is an Aviade oil pan, R model. That's what the R models in 1965 had. They had the Aviade oil pans. This is a relatively new pan, but around circa 2012, meaning that Aviade still exists and they're still making this product, which I find quite amazing. So this is a 3/4 wrench. I tried the 5/8, which I usually use on my Lincoln for the oil pan plug, and maybe too long. Okay, other way. Oh, maybe this way. Okay, got it to move a bit. But it's loosening up here. And once again, this is a low profile oil collection basin. It's been a while since I've changed the oil in this car, so it's long overdue, shall I say. Keep rolling this in there, I'll be in it. Fun stuff. Old motor oil in there. It's gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. Of course, I will recycle it appropriately. And the beauty of this is I don't even have to jack the car up. It is a front-loaded drain plug on the side. So, get ready for a big splash of oil here, no doubt. There better be a big splash. If there's no oil in here, I'd be in trouble. Yeah, there's oil in here. It's a 6-quart pan, wet sump. So 6 quarts is what I got. 5 quarts of Castrol synthetic blend. And do we have it coming out? There we go. So we have it draining here on this one take. And we'll let it go for a bit. See how the flow is. Yeah, flow's good. It looks good. I'll position the camera. You can see it very well. There it is there. Just let that go. And before you know it, I'll be sealing it up, taking the oil filter off, FL1A. This is a later model engine in the car. The original 289 K-code block that came with the Shelbys is in my closet. So it's safely ensconced away. One day, if it ever decided to be reunited with the car, it will be there. But this is a 302 roller rocker, and it seems to perform just fine for the purposes I use the car. This is obviously not a track car, it's a street car. Don't race it. Couldn't afford to take the emotional and financial hit if I wrecked it at the track, so I don't do that. Just have fun on the streets. Minimal traffic on weekends. It's the best time to go. I highly recommend taking your classic or collector car, or even your late model cars, going for an early run like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. in the morning in a secluded area. Lots of fun to be had. We'll just let it keep going there. I will return in a moment. This is a one take. Let's see how we're doing with the drain. Looks like it's down to next to nothing, just a trickle. Not even that. Miraculously, I managed to do it without spilling any oil, but the night is still young. Let's see how this goes. Just a little bit of a trickle coming out there. So I can find that drain plug. And there it is right there. Oh, no. Do not go down there. Do not go down in there. No. No, do not go in there. Please do not go. Oh, shit. Wouldn't you know? Wouldn't you know? It went right in there. The drain plug. How do you like that? That's for one take. This is the problems that one encounters. It should not have gone into the oil, but that's where it went. So I will have to rescue it from there. What a pain. But once again, this is a one take. These are things that happen in real time. What a joke. My life is a non-stop comedy. Non-stop comedy. How do you like that? I'm never going to get this damn thing out. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, great. Good job, Richard. You idiot. Idiot. Yeah, good job. Probably should pause the video because I'm just going to waste video footage. So I will shut the video off while I rescue this thing from the oil. And I'm back on here. As they say, necessity is the proverbial mother of invention, so I just came up with an idea a minute later. Why not use a magnet to retrieve it? We'll see how that goes. Let's give it a shot here. This is a little magnet. I'll put it down in here and see if it grabs onto it. Will it? Will it not? Does not seem to be working. So nix on the magnet. Put another end to this. And video back on. There is, I used an extension type magnet, a telescopic thing, and it captured the bolt. So problem solved. Not as big a dilemma as I originally thought. So that works. I'm going to clean off the bolt here with some paper towel. Let me tell you, these little wands here, magnetic wands, they can be a lifesaver. They're not expensive. It's just like a pen. I can highly recommend it. It's called Performance Tool. It's got a little R registered trademark. I guess that's the brand. Luckily, this bolt is made of metal that is magnetic. Otherwise, I would have had a much bigger problem. So it's all cleaned here. I'm going to grab the little catch pan here. It's starting to fill up. Too funny. Well, let me plug up the very minor leak. The drip. So back in this bolt goes. Don't want to cross thread it. Okay. There we go. Encountering no resistance. I can do it with my hands. It means it's not cross-threaded. You never want to tighten these things too much. You don't want them too loose, but you don't want them too tight either. You'll run into problems. You'll run into big problems. Let's just wipe this away here. Prevent any further oil drips on the driveway. I almost never am able to execute an oil change without getting some on the driveway. It's just my dumb luck. That's how my life goes. Looks like there's a little bit of splashing there, but oh, such is life. Let's tighten this little baby down. And tighten, tighten, tighten. Righty tighty, lefty loosey, right? Strip the damn thing, so wrench it down. That's tight enough. And as you can see here, there's a provision for an oil cooler if I wanted to put an R model valence on the front and an oil cooler in front of the radiator, or now known as a heat exchanger. Always changing words and descriptions, but radiator or heat exchanger. There's the plug-in for the oil cooler, and when I had this thing installed, I didn't put it in the AVA pan myself. I replaced a Ford Blue painted deep pan. Didn't really seem to go with the car, so I went with the R model AV8, which is 6 quarts, as I mentioned before. And that's it. So I will get to the oil filter. And this over here. Move the camera a little bit of a wider angle here. Screw this thing back on here. I don't know if you can do it. Dirty, dirty, crap. Whatever. Some on my little mat here. What can you do? Just leave that as it is. Leave it as it is. Oil filter, the FL1A. Let's see, I don't recall how tightly I put this thing down. Did it hand tight, or did I used an oil wrench? I might have used an oil wrench. So it may be on there super tight. Luckily, I have one of these oil filter wrench. Slip that over. Oil filter. There we go. Got it. turning. There we go. L1A. Come on. It's dripping oil all over. My first mistake was letting that bolt fall into the actual oil catch basin. That should not have happened though. That plastic should have kept it. That plastic grommet, that security feature should have kept it in place, but it did not. It did not do its job. Put this thing up here, get it righted. Through the engine bay it goes. Since this is a much larger oil filter, it's generally a good idea to put a little bit of oil in there before you start filling up the engine. So since it's a 6-quart job here, a bit of a wider angle here. Since it's a 6-quart, I have 1 quart here, which makes it more manageable. It's sealed here. Get that off. I'll just dump a little bit into the oil filter, just to give it a little bit of a head start, so that the engine's not completely dry going through this new oil filter. And of course, you want to put a little bit of oil around the ring, the O-ring gasket here. And also check the old oil filter that you take off, because on occasion this ring gasket, this rubber gasket will come off and it will stick to the engine block. And if you put the new filter on and you're not cognizant of that problem, you'll be putting one gasket on top of another and your oil filter will leak like crazy. It will be a disaster in the making. We can't have that. Here. Okay, we got it on. We got the thing screwed on here. I'm going to use it hand tight rather than wrench the thing on. Okay, it's on hand tight. I will return in a moment just to clean it up a bit. And that is about it. We're ready to start pouring. So I will readjust the camera here. That's a good view. Okay, and a nice long funnel. I was told always by the older guys in the hobby that you always want to pull the dipstick to allow so it can breathe, allows that there's no suction, so that the oil can go in smoothly. without any kind of air bubbles or what have you. Whether there's any merit to that, I don't know, but as I see it, there's no harm in doing it. So why not? Just for superstitious reasons, if nothing else. Okay. I better not spill any here. I'll hate myself. There we go. Okay. Lots of planes overhead to keep me company. People coming and going, or actually coming from their destinations, heading to that big centralized airport. Probably a good 15 miles away, maybe more. And just drink up your oil here. Drink it up, drink it up. Car is liking this. She hasn't had an oil change in a while. Long overdue. Well, I haven't put a lot of miles on. Still, oil tends to eventually break down over time. It's my understanding anyway. Maybe I'm wrong. Correct me in the comments if I'm mistaken. This is 5 quarts going in right now. 5 quarts. Yum, yum, yum. Nice thirsty engine. Thirsty oil pan. She likes that. 10W30 is what I'm using. It's not Quaker State, actually. It's Castrol. I thought it was Quaker State. I picked up at the local Walmart, but I stand corrected. It's Castrol, which is the one I typically use on all my cars over the last several decades. Become a big fan of Castrol. Why, I don't know. Kind of associated with racing, so that might have a bearing on it. But everybody has their preference. Some say Mobil 1. Opinions vary, right? And that's it. 6 quarts. According to the tech manual on Aviade or Aviade. Nice little R model pan. I suppose I could have gone with the original Cobra aluminum pan. I guess that's 7 or 8 quarts. But aluminum is porous, so my understanding on these cars, they were known to leak oil from the oil pan because of the porosity of the aluminum. So a lot of guys would seal their Shelby oil pans and then put them on the base at the bottom of the engine after the fact to avoid leaking or porosity issues. I just went with a steel Aviade because, as I said, this is a day 2 car. It's been a day 2 car since the 70s, so just keeping it a day 2 car. That's what it likes, and that's what I like. So there we have it. Actually, I'm going to grab myself a paper towel so I don't make a mess. I will be right back. As a little bit of a minor catastrophe, I spilled a little bit of oil on the Monte Carlo bar. Shame on me. That. Toss this to the grass. And oil breather cap back on, like so. I think that is about it. Just as a further addendum, I got a military jacket on. This is not stolen valor, I'll be perfectly candid. This was given to me by a former client to do paintball. So no stolen valor here. I tried to get in the military, they didn't take me. Tried to get in the U.S. Air Force. Wasn't a citizen at the time when I graduated from law school, so I could not get a position as a JAG officer, so I bypassed the military. But this was given to me for paintball purposes, no stolen valor, for the record. And also, it's also important on a bit of a slope, you want to chalk off your wheels. So wheels chalked, safety features in place. Pulling away the Edelbrock work mat that I use. And I'll get down on my hands and knees here and pull away this oil container. It is laden with oil, man. 6 quarts, presumably. And that's essentially it. I pour the old oil into the new cans here, and for recycling purposes, I take it over to AutoZone. I got a ton of them hiding out in the back, but bit by bit, I'm getting those oil cans recycled. All right, hope you learned something. If you didn't learn anything, hopefully you were suitably entertained, and over and out. As an addendum to my little oil changing journey and disaster with the drain plug falling into this oil catch basin, there's the offending part, or the spot where it fell through. So it may merit a bit of a design change, because it didn't work this time. I've never had that happen. But it makes for an interesting life, shall I say. And no harm, no foul. The telescopic magnet did its job, and it rescued the drain plug. So it all worked out for the better. Thank you. Okay, time to put Sleeping Beauty to bed after a fresh oil change. Here we go. Car's a little cold-blooded, so she stalled out, but went in under her own power. That's it. Nighty night. Hope you enjoyed the show.